Welcome to the United Soviet Republic of Reverstan. I am Premier Rever, and we are looking down at our first little town that I have named Kornassa. And the reason for that is because I always call the crops in this game corn. So I thought, well, Kornassa sounds a little bit like it might be Eastern European. I'm not sure. I'm just hoping that it's not a pornography related term because I have no idea how to speak Finnish or any other Eastern European religion or language. So in any event, here we are. Let's take a look at our map and where we're at and what we're going to do, what our overall goal is. So this map, let's take a look actually at the map itself too, where we get it from, just so you guys, there's no doubt. So it's Kanavati's, something like that, workshop, fictional Finnish Republic unpopulated. Sorry about the pronunciation of your name if you happen to see this. No offense intended. But there we go. So this is the map if you wanted to get it from the Steam Workshop. And in the meantime, here it is in real life, or in real game time. So we are starting by Soviet border number 2. I guess we should probably come up with another name. He just calls them border 1, 2, and 3. So there's Soviet border number 1, and then there's NATO border 1, 2, and 3 up here and over there. All right, hopefully you guys can see well enough what's going on. So here's our little town right below us on the west coast. Pretty easy starting in the sense of we're not too far from the Soviet border. I mean, it's a little distance, but we should be able to export our things over to there without too many heartaches and stretches. The next thing that we have close to us is going to be coal. So if we come over here a little bit further, I'm going to shrink that down. I think you guys can see that big blob of coal. And also you can see our coal hill here or something along those lines. All right. So we'll be able to get some stone and coal from this location to get started. It seems like it would be after we get maybe a little bit of a food factory kind of going down here in this area. You can see our map is sort of this estuary-like area where we have all these rivers and some of them are big. Like, we're not just going to be able to run power and run things everywhere we want. Like, we could maybe get a bridge, but I'm not sure. Probably jump power across there. But you can see where this is going to be a challenge at times to get across some of these things. So even though it's not a mountainous challenge, and it's not dead flat by any stretch either, right? It's certainly, let's turn on this topographical. I mean, it's significantly hilly in spots, right? It kind of looks flat depending on your perspective. Now we're all the way up here on the northern border, and this is where we should have, oh, no, I'm sorry, our iron is over this way. So over, no, not there. I think it's here, right? So this is some of the closest iron that we have is all the way on this west side here where these hills are. And then I think there's some other, am I facing the right direction? Nah, not quite. There is some other, like over here. So there's some other iron right in front of us and below us in these hills. So when you look at it, let's turn this topography off. You get the idea. Oop, I'm not facing the right direction again. There we go. See, like that's a good distance for us to get any iron, right? I mean, that's not a joke. So this is not going to be like super duper easy in every way. We're going to have some challenges to get started and get out here and get everything built, especially when we take another look at the map. We have no oil. So all of the transporting that we do over distances with trucks we're going to have to pay for with something else, which I think makes this even a bigger challenge at that point. Again, I'm not trying to make this the biggest challenge I've ever had in the game, but it certainly should be a little bit of fun with no oil on there. That's for sure. So as far as uranium goes, all the way down on an island down south, let's go bop over there, right? So this island is the only place that we can get uranium. Then when it comes to the bauxite, I just saw that over here, all the way over here on the east, we have a little bit of bauxite. So it's definitely, oops, we're not even there yet. All the way over by the border, right, is our bauxite right kind of below us now. Here, let me shrink that. You can kind of see. So over by NATO border number 3, we have some bauxite here, which isn't too far. This is where our iron is right here. So I could definitely see like a mining city or something over this way. Now we're going to have to build across all of this and not have it be a complete waste of time, right? So there's no resources or very few resources, a little bit of coal, but we'll have already attached to the coal, right? This whole area right there, there's nothing. And that's not the hugest area like mid or late game when you got trains and all that stuff. But I think it's going to be a bit of a challenge to keep our productivity going the whole time. So there we go. There is our map. There is our landscape, as they call it on the Steam Workshop. And I think we could probably, have fun with it. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be I could just picture nice big trains going, like a big loop of trains like I'd had in the other series where we supply all the different things to all the different areas. So we'll see. I haven't played it, so I don't know exactly how this is going to work out, but hopefully we'll have some fun, and let me know what your suggestions are the whole time. So as far as what we're going to do, and I just want to talk about for people who haven't watched one of my series, I almost always construct everything with the construction office. And I say almost because I do pay, if I spliced into this power line and had to put a new switch in, I do pay for that. Where's the high voltage switches? Yeah. So if we had to put a new high voltage switch in here, I do pay for the switch and to reconnect the wires back up because it just takes too long to construct all of this, right? It's just not realistic. By the time we were to put that switch in, like all of our people would be unhappy and left our town. So it's not good. So we'll pay for that. And then the other thing is once in a while, there's like a road that can't be built. If we have a gravel road or even asphalt road that can't be built without people, like you can't use a device on it, like a bulldozer or the backhoe, then I might pay for that too. But other than that, I'll do everything with the construction offices, which really does add to your challenge. And it's a lot of fun. I don't like to, if we look at our construction office, that's not it right here. I don't like to have the auto search on. So I'd like to micromanage each of the constructions, especially here in the beginning when we really need to get things done in a good order in order to not run out of people. And my concern is getting that. I have a lot of concerns, but the main concern, that the end goal of getting everybody happy is going to be getting the educated people. Like once we get one student educated on our own, the stress level of getting started will go down greatly because then we'll get many more of them. But it'll be a couple, 2 or 3 years before we can get any more educated. So when we bring in people, I do want to make sure that we have enough educated that we bring in to hopefully get by. So I'm thinking 30 or 40 educated people should be enough. So we're going to boost that up artificially. Another rule that I like to play with is that all the roads that are used as main roads need to be graveled at least. I mean, they could be asphalted, of course, but I feel like the dirt roads are just a little too unrealistic in the sense that if you're going to do a lot of trucking across the dirt road like this, it's just not going to hold up in real life. It's too unrealistic. At least the gravel road would hold up to our trucks pounding along the road, getting over to the Soviet border. So there will be little roads like out to the power stations that aren't used for regular trucking traffic or bus traffic or anything that I'll leave as dirt. Also try to manipulate it a little bit, especially in the beginning where we are going to try to keep this. We need to get this people from here out to a heating plant and the construction offices. So it's nice to gravel this and then be able to tell the technical services, the snow plows, to go on that road as well. So as far as the rules go, that is pretty much it. I'm going to start with 150 people, and I don't want to import any more, which isn't a huge problem when you're doing the office construction, right? Because that slows you down so much that normally the number of people you have kind of follows it. It's fairly well balanced if you're keeping them happy. There will be times that you wish you had more people, but it's not like when you're just auto building everything and it's just done in seconds. You easily and very quickly don't have enough people. We'll hopefully be able to balance out our new constructions with people. And I think that adds to a challenge that you have to grow your people yourself for the most part. Saves us money. So it's kind of adds to the challenge, but also doesn't hurt your pocketbook at the end of the day. So let's talk about what else we need and what we have. We have the absolute minimum. So if you take a look at the construction office and open up this, we have everything we need for the construction office to function over on this side, and pretty much nothing more. We need to have a road vehicles depot because we need to be able to buy some buses. As a matter of fact, we can even do that right now. I've been buying these little micro buses. I feel like they're pretty good for getting people out to our construction. Let's open up one of them. And they're going to need to go from... I should have a bus stop here in town. Yeah, bus platform. All right, so we'll just load there. And then we'll unload people at the Cornessa bus stop. All right, so I'm going to take off these. Now I was told, and I didn't think of this, but I don't want to take off the educated people, or if I do, I want to keep that in mind, right? Because we'll see in the long run, you get a lot of percentage of your people educated, and they won't go out to the bus stop. So thank you for pointing that out after the last live stream with a comment that said that's why I wasn't getting enough people to a certain location. So there we go. Oop, the other thing I need to do. Let's see. I don't know which bus that was. Yep, he has a thing. Let's do this. All right, then let's take a look at the route, and we're going to enable line spacing. So hopefully that helps them keep a little bit spaced out. We'll get good, steady people. So we did our first thing, which was to make sure we have people coming out here to our asphalt plant. And we don't even have people yet. And I would like to do a little bit of designing before we get the people in, just in case I forgot something and we want to build it real quick and run time forward. So one of the first things we're definitely going to need, and maybe not first because it's March and there's no way we're going to get this completed before the summertime, but I would like to see this. Now I think, would we be better off with the pipes, I think, going the other way? Let me see. Can I flip that around, even though the road is, no, don't attach there. Maybe we'll put it right here. We can go a little closer to the road. All right, so I think that's good. If we ever bring coal in, I'm not planning on building anything right here at this minute. Maybe we can even do an aggregate, truck aggregate unloading. Right, just as a space holder so we don't build anything else there. That could actually work with the road. Road coming right off of here, right? There we go. Yeah, I don't plan on building that right away, but we do need to build the heating plant, and that kind of gives us an idea of where. Let's see. I guess we can do something like this. Let me see if we can make that. There we go. So our heating plant is hooked up. Not that we really need it hooked up to a road, but it doesn't hurt. They can go through the walkways here. But then we got a walkway here. Let's add another walkway to the bus stop. Eventually we want to gravel everything, but for now we can get by. So there's a heating plant. So that means we're going to need a heat exchanger somewhere close to these buildings. Now, one thing that I did do, if we take a look at this line right here, or this road, all right, and I click and drag. I did figure out that click and drag gives you the measurement up there. All right, I do wish that it was done a little bit differently, but that's okay. So you can see we have 392. 400 meters is usually a pretty good distance to stay away from pollution. So our first polluting device right now is going to be this concrete plant, right, or cement plant right there. Right, so the other thing I did, the reason the town is here is I also did a little thing like that right here as well. All right, so there's another 388. So we don't want to build anything, no people in here. Right, so this is sort of a safe zone between this road and this road. We're going to plan on that because as we move over here to the coal, I could see maybe we would, want to build something over this way where we're still close enough to get people moved over there with a bus, pretty reliably. Same thing here, talking about building a farm down in this area just to the south of us. So we'll see about where we could put some food kind of production buildings, hopefully even close enough to this bus stop. Though we might want a separate bus stop just to be able to control the flow, of who how many people we have, because we're not really going to have people to do all of these things, right? That's going to be one of our bigger issues right in the very beginning. There we go. So we got a heating plant. We've got an idea of where we're allowed to pollute and where we're not. Now, as far as expanding people, the reason I say all that is, if you look, I'd like to try to leave a little bit of this space down here open to be able to get future trains or whatever kind of, maybe even power lines, whatever else we need to do to get by here. Now, we could go around this way. There's plenty of room, but there is also a significantly big hill. That's, not, it's something we need to keep in mind, that we're going to get up onto that hill with our town here, right? So, which is fine. I don't mind that. Just something it's an obstacle. That's all. Not an non-overcomable one. So I say all that because we're probably going to want to expand this way, right? That hill's not where we really probably can expand that way too much. Plus, it would be nice maybe to have a port or some other kind of thing. I'm not sure exactly where we would do that. Let's get rid of this. That train tool is nice, but it's also, I don't find it very attractive. So you could see, I don't know, we could do a port kind of anywhere, right? It depends on where we really start doing our industrial stuff, but I could certainly see a port near town. All right, so having said that, that means I want to lean things this way as far as like this heat exchanger. I'm going to do a full-size heat exchanger. All right, and I kind of want to get it, maybe this way. Got that power lines right there, but this kind of tucks in somewhat nicely by those. Can we get a road out? Boy, I just did that. No. Man, see, that's the kind of, I don't want to, when I'm putting these things down, until we're really ready, where I have to even like run time for it a little bit, I don't want to mess up our people. So we need to be pretty close, or either that or a little further this way might be a trick too. Over, so can you get out this way? Well, maybe we can do the, what, we could do a road maybe on the other side of these things. Can we get this? Not long enough. Yeah, it's just really not liking being built there, is it? No, this doesn't quite. We'll pull it all the way out. We'll give it as much room. I want this heating thing so I can bring the pipe right in. It's fighting me. The first thing I go to do, right? Or second thing. There we go. That'll. That looks better. That's fine. Okay, so let's get the heating pipes. I'm going to just do above ground for now. We'll talk about below ground at some point. Wrong kind of pipes. Go through. I guess we should. Well, we could probably go right out along those power lines, couldn't we? Yeah, so even though I face that this way, I don't think we're going to put too much right there. So let's go out along the power lines. Oops, I missed. Till we get to like this road. Let's guess I'll use this one. 1, 2, 3. Can you there you go. It's tough to put these things in because you can't. Yeah, see how not straight I am right there. You definitely have to get the right angle to be able to see what you're doing. I don't really see this heating plant doing too much else besides this. How does that look? Yeah. I want to redo that. Do it so it looks kind of straight. Straighter. Too sharp of a turn, okay. Tend to disagree with you there, but can I? Kind of weird the way it wouldn't do that, huh? It looks kind of goofy, but that's as much the down part, right? So there we go. So we have heat and a heating plant. Now that's not necessarily the most important thing in the sense of, you know, like we're only in March and it's going to be like next winter before we really need it, or next fall. But there we go. It's in, and that is sort of top of the list in a certain way. But what we really need to do is get the people to be content. And when they get in here, they're going to have the school, they're going to have the resources that they have for clothing and all that kind of stuff. That's super duper important. That's kind of covered. But I think actually one of the first things I want to build, just to get them some semblance of, you know, what they need, is probably a football field so that they get at least some sport like relatively quickly. These are pretty easy to build. I think I'm going to build some houses, some more houses right here and some more houses right here. Kind of keep them together, and then we'll like expand the housing. We might just keep adding houses up this way for now, and then generally speaking, you know, keep it somewhat close to this, you know, where it's, I mean, but we can go a pretty good distance with one of those. Maybe we put our, you know, we have this. Can we do a road out from here and still get the sports thing in? All right, can we kind of squeeze that right in there? Yes. Looked like we could. Get all four of those to attach? Yeah, good. All right, so now let's see about footpaths. Yeah, I don't know. We can get a footpath for this guy over here, right? It's a little bit awkward. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, we'll do it like, oh, too close. That won't hurt them getting in there. No, they do have a footpath. Oh, okay. So the footpath attached to the road there. Is that how that worked? Is that a road? Oh, no, that's a footpath connection. Okay. Oop. Well, you know what? Why not? Right. We could do that one in a permanent. That'll be a good spot for it. Now, another thing I'll probably do is have like a footpath coming down behind this building here. And then we would have some more planned for houses. Now, I do understand that I kind of have an extra house. When I say the absolute minimum, there's two things that you could argue with me however much you want. As far as what is the minimum. Let me look straight down. What happened there? Somehow I switched buildings. Not even sure how I did that. All right, we're going to get this right. There we go. It's kind of hard to make these things look perfectly like spaced out with each other. And I don't want to. All right, so that'll be a future plan, and probably maybe another 3 right over here. And that would be quite a few people. You know, we'll have to right here we're going to get 225, 75 in each building. So that'll be another 225. It'll be 400. There'll be 400 workers here before we run out of spacing just with that. But there we go. So now we have sports, which I actually consider, again, just trying to keep them happy and keep them from escaping is going to really be our first goal at that point. And we've got the heating plant. Probably want to get some technical services. Are going to be pretty important. You know what? Let's put them kind of right in the middle, right? Now we could have another road down here. This sort of defines the... All right, then we'll maybe do another road here. It doesn't have to be always squares, but this is the road of pollution. So we can kind of put this guy, because he doesn't care about pollution. All right, again, everything vanilla until we get to where we actually survived. And unfortunately, we don't have a lot of vanilla choices when it comes to this. So, same thing with that technical university. All right, so... yeah, technical services, sports, and we're going to need, let's go back over here. We got the store, beach bar, cafe. Yeah, I don't want to give them alcohol because that shortens their lifespans. Now, we are going to need a cinema, and again, we don't have any choices with the vanilla, so we'll do the vanilla cinema. Again, picture the people going out this way. So what I think I want to do is get rid of this bit of road. Kind of unnecessary. Kind of this be like an alley over to there, right? Here, cinema. We don't need an orphanage to get started. That's probably pretty good. Bring it down this way. Now, can you connect? If I extend you... yeah, there you go. Good. So there's a cinema. Probably the last of the enjoyment things. Like I want to make sure we get that heat exchanger going before we get the cinema. But also very important in its own right. So let's go back here. So I think we got everything we really need. Like I know people say get an orphanage, wherever the orphanage is, but don't need that. Art gallery. We don't need that immediately. Radio station will sure be important, but geez, that's expensive. So we're going to need, speaking of that, the reason we would want that is because we're going to need to get some kind of a loyalty thing. And the biggest vanilla one, 4.5% government influence, is going to be that Lenin statue. So we're going to go ahead and put a Lenin statue in close to where people live. I'm not sure if how it works, if it has a radius. We get it. Oh yeah, look right there. Get them when they're going to drop their kids off at the kindergarten or go to this play sports, right? Yeah, I think that looks pretty good spot, I guess. Yeah, we can live with that. All right, so we now have a Lenin statue, and I think we probably should upgrade his path to a... by the time we get to that, we're going to want to upgrade certain paths to that. And we'll build this out, and then we'll worry about attaching things to it. All right, so there we go. So that's a little bit of loyalty taken care of. We have, I think we have everything on here, right? We got sports, and again, radios. Yeah, radio would sure be nice, but that's sort of down the road. Let's see if we can get by with the loyalty that we have. All right, so now let's go to the medical and the firehouse. Yeah, we definitely need to get a firehouse. And I would like to kind of keep it over this way. Of course, it needs to be somewhat close to town so people can work there. And I'm thinking that, yeah, they could definitely get to those buildings. And if we keep it on this end of town, it'll make them go a little bit further into that way, I'm hoping. Oh, that brings up another topic for me. Yeah, so now we have, well, people need to get there. They can go around. Oh, look, we got this footpath. No, you won't do that, will you? Matter of fact, this is unneeded at that point. Well, people should be able to get here, and if I build more houses there, they're not going to have a problem walking down the street to get there, though. I could build, we'll even do this gravel Let's do a footpath right there to make it a little bit quicker for them to get to the bus stop. All right, so there we go. So we have firehouse, definitely necessary. And then right next to that was the hospital. This will be, pretty important. Kind of want to get it, maybe down here. I don't think that's going to be too far for the people. Oops. Can't see where the road is. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Put that next to the heating plant, kind of. This road's going to be a mess of of fixing. I mean, I could do like that, right? But then it's kind of getting out into where I might want to put more houses. That's fine. Let's go see how close we can get it that way. All right, so there we go. So we'll have a hospital, which of course is very necessary. We got the cinema. We got university. This is absolutely the next critical thing. And I think the last, what you would call critical thing. And it doesn't need to be super close to where everybody lives, but it should definitely be close. Like, what if we put it here? Would you fit if I get rid of that road? One thing nice about doing things with the dirt roads is that you don't care about deleting them. Looks pretty square to that road, doesn't it? And people certainly can get there. I think it's massive. I'm so used to building now I know why I build the little one, right? Yeah, so it's a little bit silly for us to have that, but if we're not going to import more people, yeah, I think you just definitely need to have it, All right, so we're going to build regular footpaths. Yeah, we're not going to get any regular footpath. Can we get this one? Yeah, so let's see, can we change that? Yeah, there you go. All right, as a matter of fact, I'm even going to delete that a little bit and see if we can make that nicer. Plus also one big project, right? Yeah, it's got to get past those power lines. That could be one big project, and then we'll have to remember to, reconnect it to all the stuff, which is fine. So I'll get them over to the college. The people that live here could just walk down the street. We're just going to have to, there's just too much going on here to get any kind of a walking path, right? That kind of stinks. Can I do that different somehow? These things are all already built. I don't want to waste money. I'd really like to not go into any debt, though I don't know if that's going to be realistic, but debt can always be a time bomb in a game like this. I did see some people complaining on the forums about just endlessly going into debt. They wanted a debt limit so that you would just eventually have a losing point. So I don't know if we have a losing point, but if it ever becomes obvious that we're never going to pay the debt back, that to me is the losing point. I mean, you just have to face the facts of life and declare bankruptcy, right? But that will never happen to our fine Soviet Republic. I hope. All right, so there we go. And I think that's all of what we need to really get things going. We need to get some more vehicles in here. So let's take a look at what we're going to get. Well, we're going to need a bus. It doesn't matter too much other than I like to get the fastest bus that holds a good number of people. These are, and again, we're going to stay all vanilla, just at least for the beginning. So these are not really an option. So the fastest is this one, but that only holds 7 people. So I'm thinking that we get the Skid 706 RTO Lux. because it goes 85, and that just can make a difference on when we start getting gravel roads or even asphalt roads. It does make a difference. Then I like to try to keep all the buses the same so I know if it's a construction bus or not. I do wish it was a little easier to change their colors. But for now, at least we'll get one bus, right? We're going to have a little bit of a limit on the number of vehicles that we can have because we're using the vanilla construction office, but we can, remember, put them in here. So if we wanted to get some extra vehicles, we could micromanage it and put them into our road depot if we need to. So concrete mixers is a big thing, especially on the bigger projects. So I'm going to get 2 of those. And I'd like to get 3 dumpers, but I'm going to start with 2 just to see what we can fit in here. We already have an excavator. We already have a bulldozer. We don't have a covered haul. We'll get at least one of those. Oops. There we go. Then open haul, I'd like to get 2 of those because they can help bring the equipment out to the places, which I would like to leave that on deliver mechanisms only with trucks at this point. Hopefully that doesn't cause problems. There's always potential for conflict with that. We're not going to get a paver just yet. Even though if we did, I'd probably just put it right over to here. But we don't need that at this point. We're not ready. No personal cars. As opposed to getting a tower crane, I think I am going to get a road crane. And then we're not going to get a roller. So let's just see how we make out. My tendency would maybe want to get a dumper, especially once we start doing roads. I'm going to hold off on trying to do the roads a little bit just to be able to get, we're not quite there yet. We need to get these people happy and educating up to the university level, and then we need to worry about their loyalty at that point as well. So we've got a lot of challenges and quite a bit of time it's going to take just to get our people satisfied that they're not going to end up leaving us. All right, so I think we got the construction ready. We can probably even assign some things, right? Let's go ahead and see. What would be the first thing we're going to want to get worked on? I think like I said, the football field. We don't need any more houses. After that, pretty high priority for us just so we don't lose a lot. It's going to be this fire station. I would love to get this cinema done, but they take an awful long time. And I'm not sure how much we need it. Do we get the hospital done? One of the problems with the hospital is that we really need the educated. I think I'm going to we need to get these things done, but I can always take them off of this university, right? I really want to get that university done, and it's going to be a massive project. Hopefully it'll be like a tier 3 project that they don't keep sending people there, right? Like we'll get these things done first. So in other words, I may take this on and off as we want to get other things that are more accomplishable done, but kind of want to always be working on that university. So we can't produce those things. So once we get started, let's start at least one of these off. Now they should space themselves out, but at least we've got that started. So I think we're ready to get some people. So let's bring them in, right? We got time stopped anyway. Now what I want to do is try to get 100, well, we will get 150 people. Shouldn't be a problem. So we can invite 10 regular immigrants. Let's get each of the houses open. All right, so what I want to do with this house is usually the one closest to the school. So this one over here, prefab 3, I want to put my educated people in there so that I can control them. And I know a lot of people don't like this method, but this is my method that I use to try to keep people going right in the very beginning. So I'm going to come over here to the middle one, and we're going to buy, I don't know, let's say we'd take it up to about, if we took it up to 50, well, we got 60 in there, right? So we got 6 educated. Let's see, where is our totals? Well, we'll keep track. 60 right there. Okay. So now let's invite 40 here. And then I'm going to take the educated out and put them in this building. All right, so we have 10 educated, and I want at least 30 or 40 So the total that we have is, well, 60. Yeah, so 54. Yeah, I should have probably left them all in one building, right? 54 and 36 is going to be 90. So we have a total of 90 people there plus another 10 workers here. So we're at 100. So let's do another 10. Does it matter which house? I want to send this one to the bus stop, so we'll keep that. Let's give another 10. Make sure I click the right button. So that should be 110 people total. And then, yeah, let's see how many more. All right, so that should be 40 and 100. So we should be able to get one more set. Let's put them in this house here, which will go anywhere. All right, so let's just make sure I did that right. 150 workers, 42 educated, which is fine. I mean, it's no real way to fully control that exact number because you get the random ones in here. But I will relocate them. And the reason I'm doing that is because once we get this hospital built, we are going to need them to be specifically working in the hospital, right? Then it also doesn't hurt to know exactly how many we have. It's easy to go see them. So having said that, right now we don't have that much for them to do, right? But I don't know if they prioritize this way, but we definitely want to make sure they go to the school. You know, we can have them work in the shopping center and the kindergarten. So they'll tend to be the ones that work right there. This middle building, let's close this one now. So that's our educated. This middle building here, I'm going to just allow them to go wherever they want, right? But then this other building, I'm going to take them and say, you need to all go to the bus stop. So that means that we're going to force at least 45 people to always be going up to work this heating plant, more or less. But of course, they'll also go to our concrete and our asphalt places as well. So we'll see how that works out. Now, the other thing I want to do to control the population and to get as many people working on buildings as is reasonable is I want to knock my school staff down a good amount. This is probably even more than we need. You know, maybe we'll take it down to 4 and 6. And then same thing with the store. There's no way we need that many people. Yeah, 10. I hate for people to not get food, right? So we'll go with 10. Which, remember, every time you do this, this is 3 shifts. So it's 30 people. So 30 of our limited number of people, which doesn't get updated till I play time. 30 of those people are going to be in here. So that's sort of, you know, something to keep in mind. So when we set 10 people, right, between the staff and that, it's another 30 here. So that's 60 people with those 2 buildings. And staff, I don't like to turn the kindergarten down. We could do it a little bit in the beginning, but I always run into problems. So I'm just going to leave that. That's another 30 people going here, right? So that's 90. That's the majority of our people are going to be working in these 3 buildings if they just could go anywhere they wanted, which is why I want to control them better, right? So once we get the hospital, say, open or the thing open, I'm going to take them off the shopping center or the kindergarten where the educated aren't needed, and make sure those few educated we needed are going right where they need to be, like the school. And that's, if you notice, all of those are closer to this building anyway, so that'll give them a little bit of a close shot to get there. And then, of course, somebody will have to go work in here. Yeah, in our firehouse, we'll need a few people there. Not too many. Same thing with the cinema. All right, the other thing that we have actually working and going is these. Now, I've tried to set these down to 1. The problem with buildings with 1 is that, like, the game has a demand thing where, I'm hitting the minus because I want to, wrong minus. If you just put 1 on here, then you're going to have a lot of times that there's nobody there because it takes a request to go bring someone here. So I find that putting this at 3 usually keeps you people there better than even if you just did 2, right? Because it's always kind of got somebody who's not there, so they're always looking to send a new person out. And then with this bus stop, I will assign these to. And that's not so much because I care right now, but in the long run, I want them to be able to, I want to balance it out with this heating plant. So I'm going to send the majority of people to make sure we always have heating going. Well, there we go. I think that's everything that we could do to get things going, right? I mean, we got a store, we got that. Let's play time forward for a minute and just see. We'll get this updated. Let's just play enough time forward slowly here that we can see if are they coming out and they're going to the store and they're successfully, no sellers, but I'm kind of expecting that. We need to get past this initial, well, I mean, it does it on its own. There's not much you can do about it. Yeah, see, we need to get like the shoppers not to be in front of the store. Well, we got a worker there. That's the big key thing, right? So they're going to all need to get their needs met. See, they're saying there's no kindergarten because you don't get enough. You don't get enough workers because they're all unsatisfied to get started. So we'll see. Quality of clothing, and if you look, all this stuff is low. That'll all go up pretty quickly. Well, all the things that we're giving them will go up pretty quickly. So are we getting, let's get this other bus started. I'm not sure if they're spaced out that well, but are we getting anybody to the bus stop? Oh, you know what? We want to take off this because that'll kill them too, by the way, because if you get passengers or people that are looking to go shopping or going to school, this is the students, of course, if they're just sitting in the bus stop, they're just wasting time, like waiting for that. Like, so now we have the number of workers, 23. We don't really need too many, but we're going to use them pretty quickly once this bus gets rolling. And we might even want to get another bus in here in that construction office. All right, good. So we got plenty of sellers. We don't have many shoppers. What are you guys doing? Without a job. I'm not too worried about that for the moment. Yeah, we got 13% unemployment. But like I said, as soon as we can get this construction. Now, is our construction flowing? Well, we got the gravel trucks going, right? Yeah, I think, you know what we're going to do? Just right off the bat, we're going to get another dumper. Because that's between building roads and everything. I mean, the cement guys are definitely important too. But we'll be building another construction office kind of ASAP to get them separated. To where we can get a couple extra dumpers doing the roads and whatnot. But you can see this guy's immediately pulling back out. We're going to be busy. Hopefully they're taking stuff, I guess, over to here. And this happens a lot too, where you get the two different, or literally the three, where concrete, asphalt, and gravel are the big three. There you go, concrete, gravel, and asphalt. So having that extra dumper, especially if you're assigning road assignments. Now, another thing I would like to do, and this is sort of, I don't want to call it temporary, but because sometimes it ends up not being completely temporary. Let's come down here. Right. This is just going to be a dirt road. You're not letting me. There you go. Come on. I see you want to be green. Right. I want to get a road that we can bypass everything on the main road. So this, I'm going to call this the main road, right? It cuts right through town. Because this I want to gravel, but I also want to be able to get all of those places, like while we're graveling the sections of this road, I need to be able to get those buses like down to keep this stuff running, right? Like we need to keep our heating plant going. Like we'll try to do the graveling of the critical spots when the heat, like during the summertime if we can. Right now we have too many other things going on, but you know, once we get settled and I see dump trucks sitting around doing nothing, I'm going to get them graveling this road all the way down, really. But while they're in there, I want there to be alternate routes, which now there is, right? You can go pretty much the whole way from here all the way down to here. And then we got a dirt road that winds its way here. Now we probably, this is screaming out the, all right, so now we have a road that goes there, down, right? So they can go 2 different ways. We won't stop everything up. Good. All right, what else do we need? I think we're pretty good. Let's take a look. Once we get set up with these people not completely unhappy, or at least unhappy in the way that we expect them to be unhappy for now, which is say they can't get a job, they can't do sports, but we're right on top of that. Can't do culture. So that's where, again, we're good to cinema. It's just the darn cinemas just seem to take so long to build. I need to get those other things done. We can do the cinema as winter approaches, and I don't think it'll be the end of the world. We have, pretty much everything under hand, so I think that's going to be about the end of this episode. We'll let time roll forward. We'll see how it goes a little bit, then I'll be back. I'll just let some things get built, potentially. Oop, got it on pause. Just hit the button. All right, so we'll let these people do their thing and, hopefully get the sports thing built. I'm not going to leave too much time because I want to see play-by-play how we build all of these things. But I will, I hope you've enjoyed the episode. I did leave a link for my Discord down there. If you have any comments, you can either leave them on Discord or leave them here on Steam. I'm sorry, on YouTube. We'll get them either way. So there you go. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you for the next time when we talk about what we're going to do next. Besides getting these people happy, we'll do some designing hopefully while they're building away. The other issue I'll have is that if I want to do a lot of leveling, which I don't think we're going to need to build these things, a lot of times I may pause it because it's just so hard to get the excavator that you need and the bulldozer to stay in there, right? And it's not even just I don't do it to cheat the gas thing, because they use gas when you're leveling things, but the problem is they get called away to a construction assignment and then you just can't keep designing, which when I'm just playing alone is fine, but when I'm trying to make a YouTube video showing you guys the new fancy design for our farm down here or something, it's sort of bad. So yeah, I would expect us maybe to work on this farm next episode and just generally keep a real close eye on our people. But I'm liking it. I'm glad to be back, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.